In a serious relationship, if I've ever gone out with anybody more than once, and I have to say yes, I actually got married once. Believe it or not, I know it's hard to believe. A few men are like, there's no way this girl could have gotten married. I know it is a miracle, but it actually happened once. I was married for a short time, a very short time actually, I won't tell you how long. But a friend introduced us. I don't really talk to her too much anymore, she moved away. But I know I really was, and I have to say, when people ask me why I was married, because I really, really loved my mother-in-law. She was the nicest lady. You couldn't ask for a better person, I have to tell you, you guys. From the minute we met, she called all the time. Every hour on the hour, she wanted to make sure that my husband had breakfast, then she called him at work to make sure that he had lunch. She called him to make sure he had dinner. It was wonderful. When I wasn't home, she came into the apartment and she did his laundry. She washed his shirts. She picked up his dry cleaning. She washed his socks, his underwear, everything. Everything was done. And then I opened up the refrigerator and she bought all his favorite foods. And I remember asking him, how come she did all this when I was working? He says, well, you weren't home. Who else is going to do it? Silly me. But I tell him, oh, but I married him. And what can I say? People make mistakes. But no, I will say that nothing changed even on the honeymoon, because he told me he was very shy, very reserved. He was a quiet guy. He was in his 40s, and I was his first girlfriend. He didn't date a lot before we met, and he liked to just kind of stay home, go to his mom's for dinner. And then we went away to a very romantic spot. We were in Disneyland theme park. And I'll tell you, things didn't change there, but we had a beautiful suite that we hardly ever saw because we did a lot of walking, quite a bit of talking, a lot of shopping for souvenirs for his mom. Oh, it was great. He called her to make sure she was okay when we were there. We hardly ever went back to the room. And I asked him, you know, we're on our honeymoon. Don't you think maybe we should spend one night in the room? And he said, why would I want to do that? I'm here to see the park. Silly me. Again, what was I thinking? Things didn't change. Even when we got back home, I thought, I am going to break this shy guy out of his shell. I'm going to go shopping for some pretty lingerie, and I did. And then I made one of his favorite home-cooked meals, and I knew that he would be all excited when he saw that when he got home. And I had a robe on, and I had candles lit. He came in, we had dinner, and then after dinner, I stood up, and I just ripped the robe open, and I went, here. What do you think? And I'm standing like this, and then he gets a strange look on his face, and he's looking like this. But now he goes, I said, here, I knew you would like that. What do you think? He says, I think you ought to take it back. I said, why? He says, because I can see right through it, and it's got holes all over it. Silly me. I thought I was supposed to have. I don't know. I didn't give up yet, you guys. I'm a loser. I did not give up. Oh, another couple of weeks went by. And then we were having again another one of my home-cooked meals. And I said, you know, listen, I think we need to talk a little bit, because we need to spruce up our love life just a little bit, just a little bit. And he says, I agree. And I said, okay, maybe after dinner we could go shopping for a game. Maybe just the two of us can play together, you know, something that the two of us can play and enjoy for hours. He says, a game, Debbie, that's a great idea. Let me go shopping by myself. So I figured he got the hint. Again, he leaves and I get dressed up again. I have the robe on and I light the candles. He goes shopping, he comes back an hour later and he comes in with this great big bag, and something was wrapped inside. I couldn't wait to see it. I rip open the bag and I rip it open and I see a 350-piece puzzle. He says, here, the sales girl said, hours of enjoyment. And I said, oh, I think that isn't what I really had in mind, but oh, I have to say, well, it didn't work, and I just kind of, I knew it was time to leave, but what can you do? And I, you know what, I do wish him and his family all the best. I remember, though, I had 4 great aunts in my family that they used to live in Chicago, and they moved. But it reminds me of my girlfriend who used to live here and recently moved to Wisconsin because she went out with all the men that were here. My aunts, they gave up too on everybody in Chicago. So they moved out of state, and then some of them moved to California, some were in Florida. My aunts were like in their late 40s when they first got married. And I still have time, I guess. I still have another 20 years. I don't need to worry yet. But I remember my aunt used to come over and tell me that things are going to change when you get older. Believe me, Debbie, it doesn't matter how much you exercise or what you do, something happens to your body. I mean, she scared me. I was a little girl because she used to come over every week, and I didn't know what she was talking about. But she said things are going to drop, gravity is going to take hold, and you are going to see that something's going to happen to you. Now, this was my aunt, who was really a very big, sort of buxom woman, came over every Sunday morning with a tin of cookies. She used to hand them to me, and I used to give her a hug. It was like this. It was like a pillow. I used to give her a hug like this, and then she'd hand me the cookies, and I felt so safe with this pillow. Now, I didn't think this would happen that quickly. 1 week later, she comes in, goes to hand me the cookies. I went to give her a hug, and you guys, they dropped. It was like this. I didn't know what happened. I didn't know what she was